Hello, I'm Mike Bodnar and I'm no expert, but I can tell you how to make nice fluffy rice every time. Now you know the problem of course with rice is it's so easy to get it wrong. It's so easy to overcook, you make it gluggy, you make it soggy, it's just wet and awful and your visitors are disappointed with it and so are you. So let's try and get over that problem right now. What I'm going to introduce you to right now is how I make fluffy rice. This isn't from a recipe book and it's only based on experience. So if you have any problems, it's your fault. Okay, so the first thing we need is the rice. Here's some I prepared earlier, and I find that the secret to getting it right, first of all, is to wash it. Okay, there's one way of doing this, and that is you actually take each rice grain individually, find a small brush, and wash it. Now this takes about 3 years, so we can speed that process up by ignoring it completely and use one of these. This is a sieve. Okay, sieve, right. Put it in a bowl like that, add some water, cold water that is. There we are. Now we just add the water enough so that it comes up, and when you put the rice in it will be totally covered. Now how much rice to put in? Well, I put around about 3 to 4 palmfuls for each person that you're catering for. So we're not talking about big palmfuls here, and today I'm just cooking for myself. The next thing is to give it a bit of a stir, so we'll get a fork for that. Right, now just gently give it a stir like this. Quite simple. And what you'll find of course then is that the water starts to go cloudy. This is normal because of course there's dust on the rice, natural dust, nothing to worry about. So let's get rid of that water because that's gone cloudy, and we'll refill it. Over the top of the rice again, give it another stir. And once again, slowly you'll find the water goes a little bit cloudy. Just keep doing that until you think you've got it all done. You can, if you like, give that a bit of a rest and then prepare everything else. Everything else in this case is a pot with some water in it. Quite simple. The important thing I think though is to make sure that the pot you use is big enough. I think one of the mistakes we can often make is to use a pot that's just too small, and the rice then competes for space while it's cooking. If it has to do that, it's not going to cook properly. It's going to go gluggy. So choose a pot that's big enough. Now we put cold water into the pot, not hot water, just plain ordinary cold water. Quite a generous amount. I'd say fill it 2/3 full. And we'll put that on the stove. And we'll start warming that up. The water is now heating up. So what you don't do is put the rice in too early. You need that water to be boiling. So we're going to do a bit of time travel now and come back when that water's boiling. In the meantime, let's have a look at our rice. Yes, once again, the water's gone a bit cloudy. Just change the water for the last time. Put some fresh water in. Again, over the top of the rice, bit of a stir, leave it to rest while the water's boiling. There we are. See you in a few minutes. Right, well, our water's just about boiling, so while that's happening, I'm going to tip the rest of the water out from the rice here now and bring it over to the pot. And there we are, our pot's boiling. So the next thing is quite simply put the rice in the boiling water. I think you knew that bit, didn't you? You're ahead of me there. So we'll put it all in. Now the water is boiling vigorously. Okay, so all the rice goes in. Last few grains of rice in there, that's it. Put the lid back on so it'll boil soon. And while that's happening, I'm going to put the timer on. We'll put this on for exactly 8 minutes. If you're looking for any secret to cooking the rice, that is the secret, 8 minutes. And the first thing I'm going to do is turn it down so that it doesn't vigorously boil the rice to death. So we turn the gas down to a nice simmer. Now you'll notice I'm cooking it with the lid off. I think that's important so that it doesn't start to boil too much again. And also you can keep a much closer eye on just how it's simmering. Look at that, that's perfect. That's just the right amount of bubbling. And it doesn't do any harm to give it a bit of a stir to make sure that all the rice grains are nicely mixed up. There we are, our 8 minutes is up. Now we take the rice and the strainer over to the sink here and make sure you get most of that water that it's been cooking in out. Now the other thing that I do is then I put some water back into the pot that it's been cooking in, probably about a couple of centimetres in the bottom, maybe an inch if you are still working on imperial measurements. And then I put the rice over the top of that and I put it back on the gas. So why do I do that? Sorry, I've got no idea. It's just one of those things that I do. Anyway, what happens here now, of course, is that the rice is resting and it's good to give it a bit of a shake. Give it a bit of a shake like that. Make sure you get more water out of it. Now just let it rest there for a little bit. And what happens is that the steam from the water underneath comes up and also helps keep it warm. I wouldn't be doing it for too long because of course there is such a thing as steamed rice. Now the thing is you've already cooked it in the water, so you don't want to overcook it by steaming it for too long. But what I think it does help it do is just become nice and fluffy. All right, let's have a look at it. Look at that. It's not gluggy. Yeah. Everything falls off the fork nicely. And there's our finished rice. Fluffy, steamy, good enough to eat, really. Thank you for joining me for how to make perfect rice. Good luck with yours. And as I said right at the start, I'm no expert.